If the day should ever come when your Lord Father was forced to choose between honor on the one hand and those he loves on the other, what would he do?
In the brutal world of Westeros, honor isn't always a virtue. Sometimes it's a curse. It binds men to doomed causes, silences truths that should be spoken, and demands sacrifices no one should have to make. Lords, knights, and kings have all learned the hard way doing the right thing can cost you everything. From vows that lead to ruin to loyalties that spark war, the honorable often pay the highest price. In a realm where power means survival, honor can be the sharpest bladior, the deadliest trap. These are the top 10 moments in Game of Thrones where honor became a burden, and the cost was everything.
Defend the king, obey the king, obey your father, protect the innocent, defend the weak. What if your father despises the king? What if the king massacres the innocent? No matter what you do, you're forsaking one vow or another.
Jaime Lannister.
Once the golden lion of the Kingsguard, once sworn to protect the king, no matter the cost. But what happens when the king goes mad? When Aerys Targaryen, the so-called Mad King, ordered wildfire to burn King's Landing to the groundmen, women, children, Jaime made a choice. He broke his sacred oath. He drove a blade through Aerys's back and another through his future. They called him the Kingslayer, a name of shame. But they never knew the truth. He didn't kill for glory. He killed for mercy. In a world ruled by madness, Jaime chose to be the villain to save the innocent.
As I would trade my honor for a few more years of war.
What of your daughter's life, my lord? Is that a precious thing to you?
Ned Stark, the very embodiment of honor in Westeros, stood before a crowd, broken and betrayed. He had served truth, upheld justice, and remained loyal to his code. But when the lives of his daughters hung in the balance, that code was tested. Faced with death or dishonor, Ned chose to kneel. He confessed to Trisuna, lie he never lived, a crime he never committed. It wasn't cowardice. It was love, a father's sacrifice, not a traitor's shame. Yet in King's Landing, mercy is as rare as justice. The man who stood for truth died with a lie on his lips, and the realm lost its last true noble soul.
I'm a proven warrior.
Your brothers were what? Both of them dead at the hands of those you seem so eager to protect.
I'm not protecting anyone. I just wonder if it's not wiser to wait. Why risk going against the North if they would be our allies?
Theon Greyjoy born and Ironborn, but raised in Winterfell. He laughed with the Stark children, rode beside Robb like a brother. Yet deep within, he remained a prisoner of two worlds. When the call of his blood came, Theon made his choice and turned his back on the only family that ever truly accepted him. He took Winterfell not out of malice, but out of desperation, a need to prove his worth to a father who saw him as weak. But in doing so, he lost more than honor, he lost himself. What he gained in power, he paid for in torment. A prince without a home, a traitor to both sides.
Yours was, Alina? No, Meryl? Your bastard's mother.
Wyler.
Must have been a rare wench to make Lord Eddard Stark forget his honor.
Ned Stark, Warden of the North, a man defined by honor carried one lie heavier than any sword. He returned from war with a bastard child, a stain upon his name. That child was Jon Snow, or so the world believed. In truth, Jon was not his son but his sister Lyanna's, a Targaryen by blood, a threat to King Robert's reign. To protect him, Ned said nothing. He endured whispers, judgment, and disgrace, never defending himself. Even his wife never knew the truth. He chose dishonor in the eyes of the realm to uphold a greater vow, love, loyalty, and the safety of a child. In silence, Ned proved that sometimes the truest form of honor is a well-kept lie.
And you agreed to it. You gave him your word. Treat your oaths recklessly, and your people will do the same.
Robb Stark the Young Wolf was a king born in war, hardened by loss and guided by honor. He fought for justice, for the North, for his father's name. But in a world where oaths are currency, one broken promise would seal his fate. He had pledged to marry a Freya political alliance, not a romantic one. But Robb followed his heart, choosing love over. So to some, it was noble. To others, foolish. To Walder Frey, it was unforgivable. That one choice made in tender-nestled to betrayal, to butchery, to the Red Wedding. In a hall meant for celebration, the wolf song ended in silence. Robb won every battlefield, but lost the game, and paid with everything.
It's something I want to do, something I have to do, but it'll divide the Night's Watch bitterly. Half the men will hate me the moment I give the order.
Oh, the men hate you already, Lord Commander. Do it.
Jon Snow, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, made a choice few understood. He saw the truth beyond the wall, coming storm of death, the need for unity. And so he opened the gate to the wildlings. Not as enemies, but as allies. It was an act of courage, of foresight, and of compassion. But the brothers of the Night's Watch saw only betrayal. Centuries of hatred and fear could not be erased by one man's vision. To them, Jon had broken his vows. To Jon, he had honored them in the truest way by protecting the realm. In choosing peace, he chose exile. And in choosing unity, he was met with knives in the dark.
How can I help?
It's about the Lord Commander.
Yes?
He's going up to Hardhome to save all them wildlings. Wildlings killed my mum and dad. They killed everyone in my village. They slaughtered us. So why is he saving them?
Olly was just a boy when the wildlings raided his village, his parents butchered before his eyes. That trauma shaped him, burned into his soul.
Those your parents. I'm going to eat them. Do you hear me? I'm going to eat your dead mama.
Burned into his soul.
Your dead papa.
So when Jon Snow, the man he admired, the man he called a leader, opened the gates to the very people who destroyed his life, Olly couldn't understand. To him, it wasn't diplomacy, it was betrayal. He watched as the Night's Watch turned on Jon, and in the end, with trembling hands and hardened heart, Olly drove the final blow. He thought he was saving the Watch, doing what had to be done. But what he really did was kill the only man who ever gave him hope. A hero's end at a child's hand.
You're great, but you're not. You left Winterfell a king and came back. I'm not sure what you are now. My lord, nothing at all.
I had a choice. Keep my crown or protect the North. I chose the North.
Jon Snow was born of the North, raised to value independence, loyalty, and pride. His people saw him as their king, a symbol of resistance against southern crowns. But when the threat of the White Walkers loomed, Jon knew pride alone would not save them. In a moment that shocked allies and enemies alike, he bent the knee to Daenerys Targaryen. Yet but for survival. To many, it was a betrayal of the North's hard-won freedom. To Jon, it was strategy unity over ego. But trust once broken is hard to regain. His decision forged an alliance, but planted seeds of doubt. Sometimes, doing what's right can still feel like treason in the eyes of those you serve.
I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
Daenerys Targaryen, the breaker of chains, the champion of the downtrodden, had always fought in the name of justice. She had endured exile, betrayal, and loss, yet held tightly to her vision of a better world. But standing before the gates of King's Landing, something changed. The city had surrendered. The war was won. And still, she chose fire. Not against tyrants or soldiers, but upon the innocent. Rage, grief, and vengeance drowned out the voice of mercy. In that moment, Daenerys didn't break the wheel, she became it. The dream of peace was consumed in dragonfire. What began as a fight for freedom ended in ashes, and the realm, watched as a savior, became a destroyer.
That is why I cannot give you what you ask. I cannot serve two queens, and I've already pledged myself to Queen Daenerys of House Targaryen.
Daenerys Stormborn, the breaker of chains, the liberator of City Shed, vowed to build a better world. But in the end, she brought fire and blood to King's Landing. Ash fell like snow as innocence burned beneath her justice. Jon Snow loved her. He believed in her dream, but love turned to fear and hope to horror. He saw the queen she had become and the tyrant she was becoming still. With the weight of the realm on his shoulders, Jon faced an impossible choice: devotion or duty. In the quiet ruins of the Red Keep, he chose the dagger, a kiss goodbye, a blade to the heart. He killed the woman he loved to save the world from
We
her
all
mercy.
do our duty when there's no cost to it. Honor comes easy then. Yet, sooner or later, in every man's life, there comes a day when it is not easy. A day when he
In
must
Game of
choose.
Thrones, honor is not a shield. It's a blade that cuts both ways. The noble fall, the loyal are betrayed, and the just are often the first to die. Not because they were weak, but because honor in a world of deceit can be a death sentence. So we ask you, what would you choose? Honor, love, or survival? Let us know in the comments. Which decision broke your heart the most?